touch. You got the touch.
This is Stan Bush, and this epic video from Optibotimus truly has the touch.
Another video review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Deluxe Class Decepticon Starscream, part of the new line, the new wave, second series here, as you can see, of the Beast Hunter figures. Now, the really cool thing about all these second series figures is they're all new figures, like completely brand new, whereas the first wave was kind of like 75% new. These ones are basically 100% new, so that should please people. But as you can see, he comes with a clenching thunder talon. Okay, and I don't even know what he's supposed to be. It's like a weird looking jet or something. Then come around here to the side, tech specs that you would pretty much expect for a Starscream. Very low courage, but a very high skill. Then come around here to the back, you got the Autobots in their season 1 and 2 incarnation. You have his fighter jet mode as well as his robot mode. Come up to the top, and carrying on with the very small kind of read-ups on the actual back of the card, we see it says the scheming Decepticon second in command Starscream looks forward to the day both Autobots and Megatron are out of his way. That's it. That's all you get. You get the IDW kind of little scan bar thingamajigger, which I would imagine lets you get a free look at some comics or something like that. And I'm actually really kind of impressed with that. That's really neat. And one thing that's really kind of cool is yesterday I actually met, I think his name was Kevin Clark or something like that. He's actually designing a lot of the artwork and such for some of the IDW comics. It was real cool to actually meet him. You come around here at the bottom, and then you see the other figures that are currently in the wave. You got the Deluxe Class Bulkhead, aka Rhinox, Ripclaw, and of course the one that a lot of people have been looking forward to, Smokescreen. We'll get to that one here soon. But there you have it. You got the Beast Hunter packaging on here, which is a little bit smaller than we're kind of used to getting. But beyond that though, there's the packaging, as I said, so let's get him open and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Starscream open up and out of its packaging. And he's got a very weird looking jet mode. I honestly, it's very weird looking. Now, it does have a very similar design to what we got with the first edition version. Now, a lot of the transformation elements are really very much the same. I mean, you can see that his legs here are along the bottom. Same with what you have here. You got his wings that kind of clip in up on the top section. Same with here. There's a lot of very similar elements. It's just really weird looking, and it's about the exact same height. I mean, just standing it on the nose cone, I mean, you can see that it really is just about the same length. I mean, obviously his feet kind of dangle here a little bit past the actual engine, but it really isn't all that bad. I mean, it's a pretty nice representation. One thing that is very cool that now the first edition doesn't have that this one does is he's got a little landing gear that can fold out right there. So that's really kind of cool, but he's got the little nubs that are very similar to, well, like that nub up here for a landing gear. But when you put it down, it doesn't really actually sit. You got these little bits right here that kind of get out or get in the way. So he's not fully down, but it is cool that they actually included landing gear with him. I'm just really kind of put off by the look of it. It's really very strange. I'm not feeling it all that much, to be totally honest. I mean, it's a cool looking kind of animalistic jet sort of thing. I mean, you got the like spikes and everything here and here. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I still think that this is like the definitive version of Starscream. I love the way that guy looks. This one is just really kind of strange. Now, he does come with missiles that are different than what we got before. These are a hard plastic, whereas the original first edition was these triple missiles, and they were soft rubber, and obviously you can see that they peg on completely different. You got a whole like rectangular slot here. You actually got little protruding nubs right there that just come around here onto the bottom, and you can see how that's separated, and then you just plug that in, and that's how you attaches missiles here, and like I said, completely different. These kind of look better. I really like them, but they almost kind of look like a little submarine kind of thing. Now, his other accessory is his weird, gigantic thunder talon, and that's this. You got a little saw section right here, and this is actually really kind of cool. You take this and then you just move this down and just grab it, and it does the claw thing. One thing that sucks is you got the hole right here. You can't really put this on here, though, because it's too long, and you can't rotate it around because this tail fin here gets in the way. So you come around near the bottom, and you got the holes that are on the outside of his forearms. You actually peg it in there underneath, but then again, it's now not perfectly centered, which bugs me. That I'm a symmetrical kind of guy, and that just doesn't look good. So this weapon really, it's cool looking. I do like it. I like that gimmick on there. It's just not really working too much for me. Now, carrying on with the story, because I actually forgot to do that. You have the Tales of the Beast Hunters, and obviously you have the instruction manual right here. And just folding this in so you can see it. You see we're on chapter 7, which is a continuation from the Predaking Voyager figure. You got Starscream right there. You got his Thunder Talon, which has a pincher claw which can pierce any armor. Once a target is grabbed, energy siphons activate, making Starscream even faster, and it also generates a force field around Starscream, making him much tougher. So that's really kind of interesting. But the read up here is where things start getting really interesting. And it says, when Predaking returned to the Nemesis, speaking of mysterious explosions and the disappearance of Megatron, all optic sensors immediately turned to Starscream. The Air Commander had long coveted the command of the Decepticons. It was obvious to everyone that Starscream must be responsible. Now he finds himself hunted and alone, cut off from the rest of the Decepticons, who believe him to be an assassin. Starscream finds himself where he never thought he'd be, hoping Megatron turns up safe and sound, if only so his name can be cleared. Really very interesting. Predaking is almost sounding like he's trying to overthrow the Decepticons and pin it on Starscream. Very cool. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but I love that bio. The plot, she thickens. Now, to transform him, like I said, there's a lot of similarities here. The design is very similar to what we have with the first edition Starscream, but obviously all new parts. So to transform him, just kind of separate this. You're going to rotate this around, just kind of get that out of the way. Come around here to the feet. These tab in to the side of his forearms. Right on here, you got these little nubs right here that slot in on that side. Do that on this side as well. Just pull that apart and then tuck away the landing gear. Rotate this section down and around. Bring this down. Rotate that around. Do that on this side as well. Fold these little bits up, and you can see, like I said, very similar to the first edition. You got these little bits right here and everything. I mean, there's a lot of similarities to the design, which is really very cool. Then just take these arms, straighten these out to the side, bend this whole section down. This little section right down here, it tabs in. It's kind of hard to get to. It tabs in to this, so you got to pull this out, and then this accordion's down. You're gonna reveal his head, then bring this down, accordion this up all the way, and then when you look inside here, actually there are two little nubs here and here that are gonna peg into the backside of his abdomen area, right in here and here. So you just bring that together, give that a nice little push. That locks into place. Rotate his arms down. These little bits here actually fold out and then are supposed to angle up like so. Pull out, angle up like so. Kind of straighten out his arms. I'm gonna keep these poking out. Then pull this up like so, just so you can have his wings deployed. And here you have Starscream actually in his robot mode. Now, I almost get like a mosquito vibe from this dude with this thing, because the instructions actually show you just to kind of leave this up, right like so. And that's really all you can do. You can put it back like that, but that just looks ugly. So, I mean, honestly, I just kind of leave it hanging over him like so, but it's really awkward looking. I really don't dig that, to be totally honest. But the figure itself, in a robot form, looks better, I think, than the actual Jet. I actually really do kind of enjoy the look on here. Now, he does look a little bit kind of fatter, I suppose, and not his sleek self. And definitely, it's a big departure from what we're used to seeing in Transformers Prime. To me, it's not a bad looking figure, and like I said, you can leave these down like so, which would keep these straight and look better from the front, I guess. But it actually says to angle them like so, and it kind of looks a little bit better. And then if you want to, you can take these, and then much like every other Starscream, these just peg in here, which really does kind of look bad. I wonder if it would look better going like this. I almost like it more. Oh, it doesn't even fit in there like that, does it? Yeah, it does. Except the missiles are not going to be backwards, but I don't know. I don't like how high they sit up here on his forearms, but whatever, right, guys? Whatever. I do what I want. So, I mean, you got that look. It's Starscream with his cannons on his arm, I suppose. It's just really kind of strange looking. Now, for a size comparison, here he is, and here you have him next to the one true Air Commander Starscream, the first edition. And as you can see, vehicle size doesn't matter at all when it comes to the actual robot. This guy is very small, like really tiny. Now, honestly, the only thing that this thing absolutely beats this guy in is they finally have a solid plastic red crest in the middle of his freaking forehead, whereas this is the soft one that I had the repro label sticker put on, which honestly the sticker is a very good sticker, but I think I'm going to actually paint it just to permanently do it. But there's no comparison here. This is absolutely Starscream, the little spindly little dude that he is. It's just a much better representation of the character. Now again, we don't know right now if the other characters in Transformer Prime are gonna get this kind of upgraded look sort. We have seen promotional images for the season 3 with Predaking and Optimus Prime, and Optimus Prime does appear to look like he is going to be upgraded to what we got in the recent Voyager form, which does make sense because, I mean, last we saw Optimus Prime, he was under a pile of rubble, so he may be severely damaged and need to get kind of a new form. But this is just, this is where you start seeing just how much more superior this figure is compared to this guy. Now for his other accessory, his Thunder Talon, you have this. Again, you can't peg it into his back. You can peg it into his arms, sort of, but again, they're too long for what you have here, so now you can't move his arm anywhere, so it's totally locked there. But what really looks cool that I really like, putting this little missile back on here, the way that it's actually designed is he's got like a little handle. Well, hey fell, I'll get to that here in a second. He's got this little kind of handle here and then a handle here, so it's really like you can take this, rotate this around, peg that in there like so, have them hold that, if it'll cooperate with me. There we go, have them hold that, and then have them hold that. And you can have them kind of dual wielding this, I suppose, which that's kind of cool. I suppose it's definitely unique looking. And get his head position here, and ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call the thumbnail shot. But I mean, it's cool looking, and then you got the gimmick still with that. It's just, it is whatever. Now, first articulation. On my version here, we got a couple QC problems, I suppose. His head is on a ball joint, so you get a kind of pivot left and right, up, down, all that kind of stuff. It is also on a regular swivel joint, so you can get him looking really far down if you want. His arms here are on ball joints, so in and out, forward and back. They rotate at the elbow. They're on ball joints as well, but very stiff rotation. To the point where as I'm rotating it, I'm feeling the actual black peg here. You're actually feeling that kind of move along with this. So I really would not recommend doing that too much. It's just a really ridiculously tight joint there, and that could really damage the actual connection there. Same thing on this side. Now the wrists are on little, well, no, they're just on rotation joints, so those swivel. Nothing at the waist. The hips are on ball joints, so forward, back, in and out. They bend at the knee. They're actually on our fairly nice ratchet joints here at the knee. They also rotate at the knee. But these little feet bits are really fairly loose. I don't have a problem standing him. They're secure enough in that respect, but compared to everything else, it is a fairly looser joint, and it's a pin joint, so that's a little bit more complicated to kind of tighten as opposed to just the simple ball joints. But you could see when I was trying to position that, it makes him a little front heavy, and it's a little harder for him to kind of stand, but it's overall not a bad joint. It's just not as secure as everything else. And then this is his little mosquito antenna is articulated, so there's that. Really though, that's about it for this guy. I'm gonna put these missiles. Well, I'm just gonna take them off because I don't remember what side they go on, but it's a decent looking figure. It's just not one that I'm overly super excited about. It's definitely, in my opinion, so far of the new wave, probably the weakest so far of the figures that I've opened up. But we'll see, because I still haven't opened up Bulkhead or Smokescreen yet. So, not to transform him back, come around here to the legs. You want to rotate them out. Rotate this section down, and then bring these little feet together like so. Do that on this side as well. Fold that down, feet together just like so. Then just take this, flip that back, kind of detach this, accordion this all the way back, rotate his head, then bring this up just like so. Then you're going to bring these arms, fold these sections in, do that as well here, angle that in like so. Now, there's actually, kind of getting this out of the way, there's little slots right here in here that this tab on the bottom side of his forearm is actually going to tab into. So kind of, you got to, again, rotate at that ball joint there at his elbow just to kind of line it up properly, and then slot it in. Do that on this side, or this side as well. And actually, I forgot, take these little shoulder bits and then fold them up, and they're going to tab down. They were positioned like that. You want to angle them back and slot them back into place, and then lock that arm in as well right there. Come around here to this section, flip that up, loosen this bit, and then you're going to bring this up, accordion this upward, bring this over, covers up his head, kind of push that together, then fold that section down right there. Come around here to the feet or legs, angle this section, rotate this around, kind of swivel them out here at the hips, bring them around, and then at the knee you want to do one ratchet joint, so boom, and that's it. Then you bring it in, and then you have a little slot right here that this is going to tab into. So bring that together, lock that into place, kind of position these over his hands. Do that on this side, so you want to go boom, one ratchet joint, bring these up, lock that in on the side of his forearms. Again, just kind of position these just to kind of cover up his hands, basically, is what you're doing. Then make sure that's all pushed in there nicely. Come around here, rotate these, well, straighten those, rotate these around. And now this part, I mean, you got a little hole section right under here and a little groove that it's supposed to slot into. Mine doesn't stay there, but I just set it down anyhow. I mean, you can push it down. It's supposed to tab in, but it really doesn't need to. And then just put the missiles back underneath. Do that on that side as well. Fold out his landing gear. And here you have the deluxe class Beast Hunter Starscream back in his jet mode. And that's about it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed your look at the new deluxe class Beast Hunter Starscream. These are available now at BigBadToyStore.com. So if you are interested in picking these up, this guy or the entire wave, go ahead and click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS and you'll be able to pick up this guy, or like I said, the entire wave, which is what I would really recommend doing. It's the most cost-effective way, honestly. It works out to be be only like $15 per figure. As I mentioned, he is probably the weakest and less impressive of all the new deluxe figures, but I honestly would still recommend picking him up based on the fact that I just like completing the line. And despite how bad this guy is, there's a lot of hope with the rest of the wave that really warrants picking this guy up just so that you can get those other ones at a cheaper price as well. And that's where my recommendation comes from. But as I said, that's about it, guys. So until next time, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Keep in touch with me, find out recent purchases as well as all upcoming video reviews all at facebook.com/teambotimus, and follow me over on Twitter at twitter.com/optibotimus. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.
When the going gets rough, you've been put to the test.